Hello, I'm Herb and welcome to Bluegrass Radio, your hour of bluegrass. You're listening to 2ARM 92.1 FM, your local community radio station. So welcome, we've got a guest in the studio today, Keith Cornish. Welcome, Keith.
Thanks, Herb.
So Keith is one member of the band, the Armidale band, called the Beardy Bros. Now, it's a four-piece band, and we'll find out and discover how long they've been around. But there's four members. Keith Cornish, he's a guitarist and vocalist. Pete Stanley, again, a guitarist and vocalist. Gary Daly on drums, and Reg Braun, a bass and vocalist. So you might start off, Keith, tell us how long the band has been together.
The band was together for 13 years. And we're about to have a 30-year reunion.
So that 30-year reunion, and we are promoting it on the station. Thanks very much for reminding me. And that's on Sunday the 30th of June, so this coming Sunday, from what time?
2 o'clock till 4 o'clock.
And I think...
in the afternoon, we hope.
And maybe some jamming after?
I think so.
Oh, that'll be fantastic. So we'll remind everybody at the end of this. Let's just go back to you, Keith, and we'll talk about the other band members as we go through. You're a local?
I'm a local. I've been here for 42 years. I think you become a local after about 15 in Armidale.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what the rule was.
I went to school. I went to Armidale High School for 4 years and then went to Casino and finished off and then went to Sydney to do my trade and my training, and my wife and I came back to Armidale in 1972.
Tell me about your first instrument or musical, what started your musical journey?
My dear dad bought me a ukulele when I was 9, and fortunately I learnt to play it in about an hour and a half, and my first real gig was at the School of Arts in South Grafton in front of about 80 people, with my brother Ian and our good friend Will Austin. And to finish that night off was the great Slim Dusty, who did a couple of songs just acoustically on the stage.
Oh, that would have been a bit of a buzz.
Absolutely.
Tell me, you have a connection with our Cyril Green.
I do. When I was 13, I saw Cyril play in a shop that was called the Embassy Shops, just next door to where Tats is today. Him and his band were tucked into the corner on a cold, miserable day. Very impressed. I was only a young tacker, really, and I was playing guitar, so to see someone who could really play was fantastic.
Well, on that note, we might just go to the first track. Now, I've got a track here from a CD that you brought in. It's dated 1998, and I might read something off it. In 1998, a large Sea of Hands rally was organised by the Armidale branch of NTAR, the Australian Native Title and Reconciliation, with a big line-up of speakers and entertainers. The entertainment was so good that it was decided to make a CD on the theme of reconciliation. The music on this CD it's called Together Together, is original, written by local people from a wide cross-section of this community who have approached reconciliation from their personal perspective and created music. So we're going to play number 13, The Colours of This Country, and I've got the names here, Cornish and Braun. So Reg Braun's the bass player and you are the guitarist. Is there vocals?
Yes.
All right, so let's go to track 13 from the Armidale Reconciliation recording Together Together. It's called The Colours of This Country by two of the members of the Beardy Bros. Here we go.
This country, the green against the gold, blues of the ocean and the sky, red dirt of the desert, silver starry night, purple as the day begins to die. The colors of this country shine like rainbows in the light. Still people here who only see this place in black or white. It's the spirit of Australia, the power of the land. country, the new against the old. Changes as the seasons come and go. When we come together, sharing what we have, sow the seeds and make this country grow. The colors of this country shine like rainbows in the light. Still people here who only see this place in black or white. It's the spirit of Australia. It's the power of the land. It's the value of the handshake, not the color of the hand. It's the spirit of Australia, the power of the land. It's the value of the handshake, not the color of the hand. It's the spirit of Australia, the power of the land. It's the value of the handshake, not the color of the hand. Of the handshake, not the color of the hand.
You're back with me, Herb. Studio with Keith Cornish from the Beardy Bros. Now, it's almost 30 years ago that song was put out on CDs, 25 years ago. Got any memory about what was behind the writing of the song? Obviously, it's a reconciliation song, I know that. It has a very simple message. Tell me from your perspective, what was behind it?
I don't have any of the racist issues that these people had, but it's just about, it doesn't matter what colour you are, who you are, as long as you're a good person. End of story, I think.
Well, I think that definitely comes through in that song. You know, it's the handshake. It's not the colour of the hand that you're shaking. It's that you're actually shaking the hand.
It's true. Exactly right.
And that sort of points exactly to what reconciliation should always be.
Very true.
And that, I don't think that message has changed in 25 years.
Not at all.
So that's fantastic. I'm going to borrow this CD and we're going to put it onto our radio archive, and we'll be the whole tunes. I think it's got 17 tunes. This reconciliation, the Armidale reconciliation recording, together. It'll be on our database and it'll play. Our lovely Zara, which is our computer, will play that randomly from here to eternity.
Awesome.
As long as we're around.
Awesome.
Let's go back. You've got a bit of a voice. Tell me when you discovered your voice.
When I was in Year 4 at South Grafton Public School, I had an Indian teacher, Raj. We did a play like they still do today with a singing part, and I can remember being under the table and coming out from under the table singing a song about being a jack-in-a-box. And I can't remember not singing. I had very talented grandparents who sang very well. My whole family, get around a piano and sang when I was a little tacker. Used to make guitars out of bits of wood and all sorts of, the stuff that kids do.
It's interesting that you say you had a lot of people around you that were musical. I've interviewed other musicians and they've said, no, my mother couldn't hold a note, or nobody in the house played an instrument. It was just me that picked it up. So that's great that you had a lot of people to look to and take music from, I suppose.
Yeah, not a lot. I mean, my grandfather, Alec, was a violin player, and I saw him. I was lucky enough to see him when I was about 4, I suppose. But he lost 2 fingers off his left hand, and couldn't play the violin anymore. But that was a really rugged bush band. They had kerosene tins for drums. They had a bush T-bass, T-box bass, the violin, a guitar and the piano. Out-of-tune piano usually, but a piano. Fantastic dance nights. The whole community would turn out, not dissimilar to what Hillgrove does today when they get together, yes.
So where was that, in South Grafton?
No, that was Nimboida.
Oh, Nimboida.
Yeah, out in the sticks.
Home of the bush band. Home of the bush band.
Yeah.
So what was the song, did you say? Jack in the Box?
Yeah, it was about a Jack in the Box coming out of the box.
Give us a few bars.
I couldn't remember that, Herb.
Okay, I'll let you off. So we might go to talk about the other boys in the band. Pete Stanley, guitarist, vocalist. Now, he's from Guyra, isn't he?
The Stanleys was from Guyra. I met Pete here in Armidale by accident. He walked into Stuart Lathwell's music shop and was looking for a bass player. And I didn't really play bass, but as I walked through the door, Stuart knew who I was and where I'd been and said, this bloke will play bass for you, Pete. And I said, I don't think so, mate. I've never touched it. And about 2 weeks later, Pete rang and said, look, I can't get a bass player. Will you play bass? So I went and played bass with him in the bowling club on that Saturday night. Second set, he said, can you sing? And I said, I can sing a little bit. And I sang. And then after the gig, he said, well, I think we should have you in the band. So I had to get my old guitar that had been hidden in the cupboard that I got when 1965 I got it, brought it out and got it going, and we formed the Beardy Brothers to play once a month.
So what date was that? What year?
No, from my recollections, it was 1986.
So you and Pete put the band together?
Oh, Pete put the band together.
Pete put the band together?
Yeah, he had...
we'll blame him.
We'll blame him, yeah.
And then when did the other fellas come along? Gary Daly on drums and Reg Braun on bass.
The original band had Roger Malford on drums. He left the band and I was refereeing a game of soccer one day and there was this bloke standing next to a yellow Toyota watching the game intently, and I thought, must have been one of the teams. He was watching me, waiting for me to knock off, to finish the game. After the game, Gary walked up to me and asked us whether we needed a drummer. And I said, well, we can give you a try. So we went around to Pete's shed the next Tuesday night. Beer was involved, as you can imagine. And we played 2 songs with Gary and said, that's it. And that was the only time we ever rehearsed in all the years we've been together.
So that's Gary on drums. When's Reg come into it?
Reg was with Pete. He was the bass player I replaced for that night.
Gotcha. So you must have been fairly young.
No, goodness gracious, no. I think we had 6 children by then. I'm 75 this year, so I would have been, 30-something.
To get your skill in guitar and singing, what were you playing before? Where were you playing?
I played in Sydney professionally for 6 nights a week under the show group management for the Millers pub circuit. When I left the Disconnections, my brother took my place, my young brother, and I came to Armidale and I stopped. I didn't play for 12 years, never touched an instrument.
So let's go back to those Sydney gigs. For the Millers group?
Millers group. Show group management was the Bob that looked after us. We started off doing the 6-night-a-week thing in the Millers pubs, and then we went on to the bigger and better things like the Trocadero and the big TAB balls, and biggest crowd we had was 100,000 people, a beach. But that wasn't us, that was for Billy Thorpe.
So what genre, let's go back to that Sydney stuff, what genre sort of music? Was it early rock and roll? What was it?
Yeah. So Herb, I haven't had to learn a new song in 50 years. No, that's not true. We played top 40, we played a lot of Beatles, we played a lot of Stones, early Eagles. We had a bit of a bloke on the inside with Apple Records that would give us stuff before it was released. The night, I think it was Revolver was released, we had 6 of the songs already in the pipeline. So, and we're not allowed to talk about that sort of thing because it's subject to copyright, isn't it?
I don't think anybody's listening, so don't worry. It's all between me and you here, Keith.
That's fantastic, Herb.
So why don't we play another track? Let's play this number 2 track. This other CD that I've got, it's called The Beardy Brothers, Been a Long Time, and we think it might have been put out late 90s. Yeah, late 90s?
Yeah, 96 or something like that.
And you tell me you did the artwork on the
it's
front.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is fantastic. Yeah. If anybody sees it in the shops,
yeah,
grab it.
Oh, yes.
Grab it, fantastic.
Back when Photoshop only had Photoshop 1.
I think if I had to describe it, It has an heirloom look about it.
Thank you very much.
So tell me about the track number 2, "Take That Girl Away" by Pete Stanley.
Pete Stanley wrote this song. I think it was about his wife. I think he wrote it because she's younger than him, and he was feeling a bit guilty because he thought he was too old, so she shouldn't come near him.
Fair enough. Are they still married?
Yes.
Oh, well, it worked.
4 beautiful daughters.
Oh, fantastic.
Still happy as Larry.
Fantastic. All right, let's go to track number 2 off the Beardy Brothers Heirloom album. Been a long time. It's called "Take That Girl Away." Let's have a listen.
Sad someday. Although it hurts me now, it's gonna hurt her more if you don't take her out the door. I'm really not the one she wants, but she's much too young to see. So hard to find, and so I'm gonna set her free. How many times have I broken a heart? How many times I can't say. So with this young girl, I'm just not gonna start. Take that girl
And you're back with me, Herb, and Bluegrass Radio. I'm in the station with Keith Cornish, one of the members of the Beardy Brothers, our own local band that's going to have a gig at the Grand Hotel on Sunday, 30th of June, 2 to 4, but also a bit of a jam afterwards, I think, hopefully. So that just song we heard, we were talking about it off air, that's Take That Girl Away. We've got 3 vocalists there. We've got Reg Braun on a vocal harmony, Keith, yourself, on vocal harmony, and Pete Stanley on lead vocal. Yep. So the 3 of you throwing it all in together.
And the beautiful Steve Taffra putting in a little bit of that funky guitar in behind it.
Yes, yes. Now, we just want to mention too that CD, this heirloom CD of the Beardy Brothers, is a direct result of the expertise, faith and dedication of Colin Bale.
Yes, the great Colin Bale.
Yep, and the late night sugar hits and coffee supplied by Peter.
That's his wife, yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a totally local production.
Yep.
Well, you'll leave this with me as well, and I'll put this on our database, and we'll have that as well for people to listen to. Tell me some of the gigs you've done in Armidale. So you're playing in Armidale for about 13 years.
Armidale and surrounds. We had a monthly gig at the ex-services club, and the second week was a monthly gig at the bowling club. We did balls at the university for just about every college. We did things like the May Ball. You familiar with the May Ball? Our gig at the May Ball was 2 hours of dinner music, and then we'd have a little spell, and then we'd do another 5 hours of rock and roll. They just suck us for punishment, yeah.
Well, that probably was a pretty loose night by the end of it.
Loose morning, early morning, yes.
So if you had to pick one gig or a couple of gigs, let's say, to talk about that were pinnacles in the 13-year or so time here in Armidale, what would that be?
Oh, look, we did Tony Windsor. We went over. We used to do the Spring Ball in Inverell, which was 300-odd people. And one of those nights, Bettina, but she was on play school. Fantastic lady, got up and sang with us. That was just a delight. Roustabout Ball, and they used to have at the showground, 600-700 kids playing up badly.
Thankfully, we don't have that anymore, though, Keith, because we're more responsible drinkers.
I agree with you completely and utterly. Although I think today the security's probably a lot better than it was in those days.
I listen to 2ARM 92.1 FM in the car and at work for great tunes and community news.
And you're back with me, Herb. We're just going to play another track called Another Night Like Tonight. Now, can you tell me something about it,
This
please,
was written by Reg, and you'll pick up on when you hear it that it's fairly well bass-driven, and it's got a bit of a groove to it. Not too bad.
Another Night Like Tonight.
Another night like tonight, another night like tonight, another night like tonight, that's all I need. Another night having fun with my special one, another night like tonight, that's all I need. Another night like tonight, another night like tonight, another night like tonight, that's all I need. Another night having fun with my special one, another night like tonight, that's all I need. And when we dance on to the beat, and I can feel your body heat, I know that just one night is not enough of you. Another night like tonight, another night like tonight, another night like tonight's all I need. Another night having fun with my special one, another night like tonight's all I need. That's all I need. Another night having fun with my special one. Another night like tonight's all I need. And when we move close on the floor, I wanna give you more. I know that just one night is not enough of you. Another night like tonight, another night like tonight, another night like tonight's all I need. Another night having fun with my special one. Another night like tonight's all I need. Another night like tonight, another night like tonight, another night like tonight's all I need. Another night like tonight, another night like tonight, another night like tonight's all I need.
We just sides have got a bit of a jazzy vibe to it, Another Night Like Tonight. Now, we didn't mention, though, that Colin Bale is playing keyboard there. Wayne Elliott, who you tell me was a teacher.
Yeah, he was a music teacher, played with Maxwell Street.
Oh, magic.
And just came in one night and did that and went home.
Nice. Now, tell me about the bass, Reg Braun's bass. It was tuned a bit different?
Yeah, it's a 5-string bass. It was hand-built for him, to suit him. And instead of tuning, as you would, E, A, D, G, B on the 5th string, he'd just tune it to C, which meant that patterning all over the neck was exactly the same. You didn't have to think about stepping back one note as you went up the neck.
And there was some other way that he was playing with, a bit of a double pull or something.
He's got a double pull. He used the back of his fingernail and the front of his finger. It was pretty tricky. Good to watch. Never seen another bloke do it, actually. He was the best.
And where's Reg now? Is he up in Toowoomba or somewhere?
Townsville.
Townsville.
Yeah. He can't be here for the gig, unfortunately. We went ahead with it because everything was booked and was ready to go. He thinks he can get down in November. We might do something again then, you never know.
So who's going to fill in bass?
The beautiful Mick Houlihan.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Mick Houlihan, I think he just plays in any band that comes along.
All right, so we might go to another track. Ginger and Tina. Any ideas about what this is about?
I do. I wrote it. It's about a lustful guitar player and a lustful young lady who thought they might get it together but missed out altogether.
Okay, I think we'll just leave it there.
That'll do.
Yeah, that'll do. Here we go. Gina and Tina.
Old Ginger was a guitar man and he prayed on Friday nights. He played all the old songs, tried to do it right. Tina used to watch him working in the hot stage lights. Ginger was a guitar man, now would he get it right? Tina was a beauty, she wore her dresses tight. She would watch old Ginger playing every Friday night. Sitting in the corner, she was almost out of sight. Tina was a beauty, now would it be tonight? She could be his princess, him a shining knight. They'd fly up on a big black steed and ride on through the night. It was only dreaming, but if they didn't get it right, they'd make love in the backseat of his big old Ford tonight. It's over for the night. It's turned into a roadie, and Ginger's gear's not light. Pack it in old Henry, and they drive on through the night. Ginger was a guitar man who did not get it right. She could be his princess, him a shining knight. Fly upon a big black steed and ride on through the night. It was only dreaming, but if they didn't get it right, they make love in the backseat of his big red Ford tonight. She could be his princess, him a shining knight. through the night. It was only dreaming, but heaven didn't get it right. They make love in the backseat of his big red Ford tonight.
And you're back with me, Herb, and Bluegrass Radio. That last one was an acoustic one, The Russian, and the one before was Ginger and Tina. That was a bit rockabilly. So The Russian. Now I didn't mention. I'll mention that Steve Taffra played the acoustic guitar there, and we had the rest of the lineup as normal. Tell me, Keith, about that Russian. Who wrote? Pete Stanley wrote that.
Peter Stanley wrote that. He came in one day and said, "This is what I've just finished." We played it. It was fantastic. Fantastic. You don't hear instrumentals, you know, and it's got a real good feel, and you get the Russian thing. So, yeah.
So how did Steve Taffra get involved?
I think Peter just wanted to enhance the song, and when you're recording, that's part of the game. So he got Steve to come along for a night and do that.
So Colin Bale, now where's Colin's got his studio?
I don't know where it is now. At that stage, it was an Oak Tree Drive. It's out of town. I should be able to remember the name of the road, but I can't. He moved out there probably 10 years ago, I guess.
And you were just saying off air that to get that real resonant sound from the instruments for that Russian one is sort of
It's
a
superb.
bit not only down to the musicianship of the musicians, but Colin Bales.
How he records, yes.
Yeah, how to record it.
He's very good, yes.
A perfectionist, I suppose. And that's what you want if you want to actually showcase the musicians at their very, very best,
Very true.
I would think. So why don't we just go to another track? Now, this one is number 11, which is Rollin' Down the Road. Any thoughts about this?
I wrote this after we'd been to Noundock to play at the Policeman's Ball. We played at the Policeman's Ball in Noundock and the Fireman's Ball in Noundock, and they were both the same bloke as at Beard. But it was 2 trips to Noundock. You turn up in Noundock, not a soul in sight, just maybe a car at the post office shop. About 7 o'clock at night, all these people came out of the bush and pulled up, and then 150 people having a great time. Amazing, just amazing.
Rollin' Down the Road. Let's give it a track.
Come on, boys, let's pack this gear. Get it on out of here. We're playing another one I'll stay in. Fuel her up and get her on the road. Heading out for another show. I can't help it. Give the crowd a hand. 40 K's of rocks and dust. This old bus, she's a going to bust. The joys of playing in this old traveling band. Ooh, rolling down the road. Ooh, rolling down the road. Rolling down the road. Rolling down the road. Oh, we're gonna play it hard. Don't you ever let it stop. Gotta get there before the sun goes down. Dress the stage, no fooling around. We're playing another country ball. Play some country, play a little rock. Gonna make 'em dance till they drop. The joys of playing in a guitar band. Rolling down the road. Rolling down the road. Rolling down the road. Rolling down the road.
And you're back with me, Herb. That one was Rolling Down the Road, and that was a bit rocky. I was just commenting to Keith about his electrical guitar playing. He said his rheumatism doesn't get
My arthritis doesn't
Right.
help anymore.
the rheumatism.
Yeah,
I think it happens to all of us.
it does.
But I'm just going to play. You gave me your choice of tracks to play from this album, but I think we've got time. We might just go and play the ones that you didn't say to play. Number 1, Isn't Anybody Lonesome Tonight? Tell us about that.
Pete Stanley wrote that. It's another lament.
Oh, love lost, girlfriend left.
Oh no, I think he's looking for a wife.
Oh, he's looking for a
Yeah.
wife.
I think it's a different feel to that.
Oh, okay. Well, let's have a listen. Isn't Anybody Lonesome Tonight?
Isn't anybody lonesome tonight?
My girl's gone and left me for another Joe. I feel such a fool 'cause I love her so. I got a whole lot of loving that's got nowhere to go till I find someone who's lonesome tonight.
Isn't anybody lonesome tonight? Doesn't anybody want a taste of love so right? I'm all dressed up like Rocky, but I'm just not in the fight till I find someone who's lonesome tonight.
Doesn't anybody want a love that's slightly used? My ego's battered and my pride's been abused. My motor is running, my direction is confused till I find someone who's lonesome tonight.
Isn't anybody lonesome tonight? Doesn't anybody want a taste of love so right? All dressed up like Rocky, but I'm just not in the fight till I find someone who's lonesome tonight.
Doesn't anybody want to spend some time with me? Doesn't anybody need a little company? It's a long time from sundown until the morning light. I gotta find someone who's lonesome tonight.
Isn't anybody lonesome tonight? Doesn't anybody want a taste of love so right? All dressed up like Rocky, but I'm just not in the fight till I find someone who's lonesome tonight. Isn't anybody lonesome tonight? Doesn't anybody want a taste of love so right? All dressed up like Rocky, but I'm just not in the fight till I find someone who's lonesome tonight. Isn't anybody lonesome tonight? Doesn't anybody want a taste of love so right? All dressed up like Rocky, but I'm just not in the fight. I gotta find someone who's lonesome. I gotta find someone who's lonesome. I gotta find someone who's lonesome tonight.
And you're back with me, Herb. That was a little bit country, but as I said to Keith, if you give me the song, we could put a fiddle to it and a banjo
and a fiddle.
And we'll make it a bluegrass song.
Make it bluegrass.
So isn't anybody lonesome tonight? We might just go and do a few bit of sponsorship announcements and come straight back.
I listen to 2ARM on 92.1 FM in the stable with my horses for news and great tunes.
The Beardy Brothers are back. Join Keith Cornish and the band at the Grand Hotel Sunday, 30th of June between 2 and 4 p.m. It's been a great 30 years, so they're planning a reunion to sing the old songs and have a party. Admission is free, so join us at the Grand Hotel Sunday, 30th of June from 2 to 4 p.m. See you there.
And you're back with me, Herb, and Bluegrass Radio. We've just listened to the song Isn't Anybody Lonesome Tonight. That was a bit country, wasn't it? What we just actually spoke of, all the songs that we've played, you can slot them into their own genre, but they're not all the same genre. No. So we had a little bit polka with the Russian.
The Russian, yeah.
The Russian, we had country, we've had
country rock,
jazz, country rock, rockabilly. Ginger and Tina were rockabilly. Yeah. And we're going to do number one, Do Right. Now, Reg wrote this one.
He wrote this one and he sang it. He wanted to sing one on the album, and this is it.
All right, let's do this, Do Right, and we'll be back straight after this.
Take you home. what's real. Do right tonight and let me take you home. Ourselves some fun. You could find a brand new love and I could be the one. Why don't you do right tonight and let me take you home? Why don't you do right tonight and be with me all alone? Why don't you do take you home? Why don't you do right tonight and be with me all alone? Your place or mine?
Back with Bluegrass and Herb and Keith Cornish in the studio tonight from the Beardy Brothers Band. That was a good one to finish with.
Right, jazzy.
Very bright and jazzy, and it's Reg's vocals there. So thanks very much, Keith, for coming in. That's been fantastic.
Thank you very much, Herb. It's been a great evening.
So don't forget, Sunday, 30th, 2 p.m. to 4-ish at the Grand Hotel in Armidale. Go along and listen to some great tunes and support the boys. And it's a free concert, so you can't get better than that. Come along and support the boys and the music. And just remember, even if your partner steals your dog and runs off with your best mate, you'll always have Bluegrass. Good night.